entrepreneurship really is self-development. Because what is a spiritual pursuit is something that causes you to have to change.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you get insights into yourself.
What was your journey to God?
I got depressed. That's what I call it now, depression. Would not want to get out of my bed. This period was like what I call probably like apathy, actually, where I got so low. And one day I called my mom on the phone and I'm like, Mom, I just can't do it anymore. I just called and I started crying. That was when I broke. And it's in these moments that you go like, God?
The eye of God? What would you say the eye of God is, just off the top of your head, if you had any idea?
The eye of God.
Two paradigms, faith or fear, which both get you to believe in the unknown.
And what is fear?
You could have all the ladies of the world, but yeah, you know deep down, fundamentally, it is about connection. It is about intimacy. It is about shared experience with this one person.
You want to become a version of yourself which can be able to inspire the next generation. But your current version has limitations. That's a deep question. That's a big one.
Now, before we jump into today's episode, this podcast is brought to you by the Bond Brothers. And the question I have for you is, wouldn't you want to be walking around feeling like the man? I feel like that's a complete no-brainer. There's a real psychology behind how we dress. And when we look sharp, we move differently. And that's where the Bond Brothers come in. Irish Groomswear Supplier of the Year with their premium store in Goatstown. They offer luxury wedding suits, tuxedos, and expert personal fittings to make sure that you show up like a man on a mission. Head over to the Bond Brothers Instagram and contact Brendan, and he will make sure that you walk away looking dapper. Bond Brothers, where confidence is tailored. We'll break into it anyway. Josh, how are you doing, sir?
Fantastic, amazing, tremendous.
Excited, man. I'm excited for this conversation, which was meant to happen at the beginning of the week. However, we're now here.
It's even better.
Even better.
Trust me.
Yeah. Do you believe in divine timing?
Do I? Yes.
Yeah. Synchronicities.
Everything is going to happen at the time it's meant to happen. Synchronicities, fate. I had like probably 3 synchronicities this week, so don't worry. It's always a thing. And
when you had 3 of them this week, how do you tap into them? Is it you plan on having something happen in your life, or it just comes to be?
So you have the awareness and you can notice patterns. So you can notice you said X sentence or was talking about one topic, then you see that exact line again somewhere, then somebody brings you an idea of something and is talking about that and you go, yeah, I'm doing it 100%. You don't need to question it because you now know that it's almost like somebody's leaving a cherry trail for you. So it's like I don't question then like many decisions. I look like, is there if there's synchronicities involved in me meeting this person, business thing, I have to go all in. That's how I use synchronicities. But it's not something you prepare for. It's always going on.
Yeah.
If you're not seeing it, you're not being aware of it. Like it's your level of consciousness. It's just your level of awareness.
How have you increased your own level of consciousness awareness?
Meditation was a big one. Yeah. Not in the wooey like silence the mind, but like, to me, meditation is simple. People get it so mixed up. Like it's this spiritual crazy thing. Hey, you go to the gym, why? To train your muscles, your biceps. Well, guess what? Your brain's a muscle. Yeah. And it has a muscle where you need to be able to hear your mind, be able to see where it's going and be able to control it. Just like you want to control your arm.
Exactly.
So how do you train the brain? Meditation is an exercise.
It is.
We exercise every part of our body. It's an exercise to exercise the faculty of being able to hear our minds and become better at seeing the chatter in our head. That's all it is. So when you're sitting there for 5-10 minutes, it's not like something magical is going to happen or you're going to meet like Mary and Joseph. It's literally just like, I'm doing it for 10 minutes today. It's boring. But when I do it for 10 minutes over 6 months, I'll eventually get better. My brain is going to build some muscle. When you go to the gym, you don't expect to like lift the weight and be like, I'm going to walk out, my chest can be big. You just go progressive overload. And if people took the same gym mentality to meditation, it would solve, more people would do it.
And the world would be a peaceful place as well.
It would be.
But what's incredible about meditation in particular is you're analysing the thoughts that are in your head.
Yeah.
And that's where that kind of self-awareness piece comes in. Because when you're aware of the thoughts, then you're like, you can start... Select, exactly. I was going to say, you can construct what thoughts you want in there. And we were talking before we got going on the podcast of this esoteric wisdom and manifesting your reality. That all comes from you tapping into your mind.
100%.
And there's something I heard really interesting lately. I've just got into the Bible, but they say the eye of God. What would you say the eye of God is, just off the top of your head, if you had any idea?
The eye of God. Your subconscious or something like that.
Your imagination. That's where everything's created.
That's what I was, yes.
Yeah, everything's created. Like, your imagination is the creative workshop, and that's where...
It's the creative force.
The creative force, exactly. And just meditation, bringing that awareness is just so, so powerful. And I, wish more people meditate as well.
Yeah, it's like, as I said, most people, there's a barrier to it. And, what people need to understand is that it's not about that you're never going to have bad thoughts. We all have many thoughts.
60,000 a day.
60,000. Thank you. I like people that know their facts, because I was going to just say a number that I'm like, I know it's quite big. 60,000 a day. All it is that when you can meditate, you decide which ones you want to select. I'm no different from anybody else. We all have the exact same thoughts, most likely. Yeah. It's just I don't associate with the majority of them and don't give it any emotional input. Yeah. Once I give it an emotional input, that thought then has an emotional conviction attached to it. It then solidifies itself in my brain, and my brain goes, all right, let's make this happen. Yeah. So that's self-sabotaging, and that's where that cycle starts. So instead, you see your thoughts, you just go, all right. Nice to see you, mate.
It's just you're just like you're becoming a witness of it.
It's a witness. They call it the seat of consciousness. You're just stepping in. A great book, my favorite book, The Untethered Soul.
Oh,
The Untethered Soul.
So before I reached out to you, I remember I seen it on your story, and I couldn't remember the name, but you kept posting about it. I think I sent you a voice now maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I was like, what is that book, man? Because I'd love to...
I didn't see it.
That's okay. It's all good, but at least I'll have it noted. I'll have it noted now for the future. What is that book about?
The Untethered Soul is a book about awareness. It explains the chatter in your mind. It goes through do you ever feel like, you're sitting down and your emotions come through and for example, you don't hear the chatter in your mind and all of a sudden, you're angry at somebody and that angriness causes an irritation. But anger is actually in your own control. Yeah. Because if I say the word chicken, I didn't actually do anything to you. Now, if chicken, I use chicken because it's like a funny word, right? And you see what that did? If chicken itself is not funny. It's just CHICKEN. It's the interpretation of what we say chicken is, right? It's literally just, I'm just saying 9 letters, and for some reason you're laughing.
What a word! What a word to give it as an example.
But it's literally just that's a great one because it's literally just 7, 8 letters. Yeah. What happens? It's you. It's us that gives the perception. So we give the meaning to the word a, but then we give what does that mean to us. So then if that was a bad thing that I was saying, someone says a bad thing, doesn't actually do anything. They don't actually do anything. It's me. I see it. I take it in. I associate it with something. I give it an emotion. Now I own it. Yeah. Now what you can learn to do is have those things come in, and then you can see your own thoughts and be like, hey, it's like your inner roommate. You've got this crazy, insane roommate in here that you could be watching TV and it's like, man, that guy in the movie is great. Wait, did I wash the plates? Hey, did I actually have to do... And imagine if you had that person as a roommate. You'd probably sit there and be like, bro, my roommate is insane.
He's crazy.
He's crazy.
He's crazy,
but
bro.
Not only that, would you then go ahead and be like, you know what? I want to make that guy my best friend.
Oh, man. You took the words out of my mouth. You should be your own best friend by the thoughts that you have inside your head.
Yes.
And one thing I love that you said there, nobody in this planet can actually offend you. It's your decision or choice if you become offended with the word chicken or not. Yes. That's really as simple as it.
That's basically what the Untethered Soul is. It's way better at explaining it than me. That's why I recommend books, because it's listen, guys, I know it, I get it, but I don't got that on level. That's awesome. The guy who wrote it, Michael A. Singer, was actually an entrepreneur who learned this stuff and eventually was more living in the forest, meditating, and then he sold his company to WebWMD. It was a health company for $500 million or something. So it's actually an entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur that writes a book about The Untethered Soul, which is a very deeply spiritual book. So entrepreneurs, people are interested, read it. It's not just some wooey guy he took that same stuff and was able to be very successful.
Would you say entrepreneurial pursuit is a spiritual pursuit as well? Because money is energy at the end of the day, and you're really attracting it in, like he done.
I think so, because I think entrepreneurship really is self-development, right? And it is because what is a spiritual pursuit is something that causes you to have to change. Yeah. Right? It's you get insights into yourself. Now, business, entrepreneurship, if I could put a sentence on it, the business of getting punched in the face. Imagine I go, I'm going to punch you in the face every day for 1 year. After a while, it is a spiritual journey because you're going to learn, you're going to somehow...
Because there's pain.
You're going to somehow develop a way where it doesn't even do anything to you. So that's what entrepreneurship is. It's like, it's this journey of hardship. It's like the modern way of like, you know, let's say like Alexander the Great and then would go on like, 6-month hiatus into the jungles, right? We don't do that anymore, like, because we know that like you can actually die. So like our survival instincts has known that like that's actually a good option, but going out into the wilderness is something that creates better version of yourself. Entrepreneurship is the wilderness. There's nobody. You're alone. You're going to get attacked from all angles at all times. People are going to go against you for things. You're going to lose very often. You're going to have no solution in sight. It's basically a safe version of going into the wilderness where like it's not going to do anything to you, negative, but you get all the benefits of going out into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, or going out and becoming somebody, which a lot of the greats would have spent big time away, alone, in a certain period of time where they were getting tested.
Yeah, you talked about that in a recent reel I've seen of yours, and like that space and having that alone time is where you create yourself.
100%. You have to, because you see, whenever you're around people, I know you now, James, right? And what's going to happen is that I've assumed a character for yourself and who you are. If you went to sleep tonight and went, I want to create a new version of James, right? But I saw you every single day, I would continue to address you as this current version. Yeah. And what that does is that causes like a fight in your brain, where your brain is trying to create a new version of yourself with new characteristics, but at the same time it's getting addressed as your current version, and it's fighting. When you spend time alone, it's a hack. It's called identity hacking. You can create a character of yourself, a new one, and because you're not around anybody, perhaps go to a country they don't speak English, because then I went to like Alicante, I was in Italy, nobody can speak to you, you can't really speak to them. You can then spend more time seated in this new version of yourself, and very quickly, in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're able to basically morph and delete a version of yourself because you spend so much time in this newer one, and then you come back into the world and you tell people this new version that you are. But it's easier for you to stay that, because first of all what's going to happen is they're not going to at all immediately understand you, believe me. They're going to constantly pull you back to the other one. But you solidified this new state. You're stronger. Trying to change it around people is long, it causes you to even doubt it, and it's just...
You slip back into that old identity as well, like you kind of touched on.
You slip back in. You actually don't slip back in when you go to a new place. Imagine this, you go to a new Airbnb in a new country. You don't have any routines or habits in that place. In your bedroom, do you find that in their house, there's this one thing maybe you don't like, maybe it's like you always go and pick sweet. But because you have, let's say, an action that you've done there 100 times, it's now no longer conscious. It's basically like an unconscious trigger. See cupboard, see fridge, go in and pick up that ice cream. Now, when you go to the Airbnb in this new place, it's like your brain goes,
they've only got chicken in the fridge.
We got nothing here. There's no habit forming. Now, it may still prompt you, but hey, John, you can create a new one and go, okay, in this place, I am this type of person, this is what I am. And it'll now associate this new place with a new version of you. And when you start a new routine, all of a sudden it prompts you to keep that routine going. It's so much more easier to start a new routine or new habits in a different place. Ty Lopez talks about this, environment hacking. When you start a new habit, personality trait, something new about you, go away for 4 weeks or somewhere. And we literally have Airbnb. Go pay $400, go to Montenegro, right? Just go away. Set the intention for what the new habits are. Start doing it there. I promise you, you would get further in 3 weeks than you would in 6 months.
In the same place.
In the same place.
Wow. And when you went to Alicante at that time, was that the intention of going there, forming this new identity?
100%. What happened was I was trying to make some changes and go to that next version character of myself. And my circle, the people I was around, even though they're actually still my best friends, and they know this, we talk about this because now we work on this stuff as well. They were still addressing me like that older version. So what it was doing was, it was basically creating conflict in my mind. Like, wait, Josh, are you this version or are you this one? Like, you're saying you're this one and you're reading your affirmations and your character stuff, but the same thing, people are still referring to you, making those jokes, still making those same things. So I was like, I could see how it was creating that. So I needed to leave, and I left Milan. I was living with one of my best friends, Warren Mulvey at the time. That was my guy, and we still work together, my business partner today. I moved to Alicante, to an apartment by myself, by the sea, so that I could in my own time, in my own awareness, create something new. And because I was in a foreign country that didn't speak any English, sometimes I'd go 3 days without speaking English to a human in person. So like, it was very easy for me. And I actually at that point stopped doing some of my businesses. I left some of my teams and left some of the things that I was doing to have a complete period of around 2-3 months of no work, no really physical contact. And this is not like early in my business career. This is like a re-transformation I only did last year.
Yeah.
I was already in business. I already was doing this, but I needed to do that. And that's what I call basically like your Phoenix period. It's like you're going away, right? And the fire, you're going into the fire. And you're going to, the ashes, and then you're going to come out of it a new thing. And that's what you need to be doing. You need to go away and get these 1 month, 2 month, 3 month periods of Phoenix rebirth. And it's powerful. And you have to be selfish at the time for the fact that you're going to be selfless. Maybe you want to become a version of yourself which is going to be able to inspire the next generation. But your current version has limitations. You got to go be selfish for 2 months.
How do you reset them limitations?
So the way you reset limitations is you don't focus on the limitations. Don't
give it energy.
You start talking about the opposite ones. So let's say you're like, I am really tired most of the time. You start focusing now more on I am a person with high energy. Yeah. And when you start doing the I am the person of high energy and you're not giving your brain, as you talked about the subconscious, which is like your springboard, your conscious mind has opinions. I agree, I don't agree. You go, I am not a tired person, goes, bullshit, you want to go to sleep right now, bro. Let's take a nap. You need to understand your subconscious does not have opinions. Your subconscious takes everything in, right or wrong. So your conscious can disagree, but if you repeat it more and more, your subconscious just accepts it, takes it in, 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 takes it in. Then it starts prompting your conscious, you know what? You have energy today. You have energy.
It's an obedient server.
Yes. It's backward. The inside controls the frontal one.
Yeah,
right.
But you have to be in control of it.
But it's true just prompting. It's just rapid. Like Think and Grow Rich is a great book. I would recommend Think and Grow Rich because it was one of the first books I read. And I remember I was doing door-to-door sales. I wanted to go online, and my goal was I want to hit that first 10K month. Everybody loves that number. And I got Think and Grow Rich. I was 19 at the time. I read the book and it talked about that repetition. You repeat something, you write it out. I started writing out I am Josh and I make 10,000 a month, and I write it every single day, 25 every single day for like 30 minutes every day. And the reason I was doing that was I was trying to prompt my subconscious mind to have the confidence, the belief, the conviction, the conviction.
Yeah.
Then what I look at my brain is that my brain has all the ability to give me the right intelligence that I need to go and action out to become that person.
Yeah.
But it needs to be prompted. And I actually believe why we're all going to be able to get so much better at this is we get it now. Because AI is basically this. You prompt AI, but how you prompt it gives you a different output. You prompt your mind.
Your subconscious, yeah.
And how you prompt it gives you the consciousness. And what happened? 30 days later, I hit my first 10K month. I kid you not. And I was about to go back to school, and that was the moment. And then I forgot about that stuff for like 6 months because I thought, oh my God, I was a genius. And so, because you forget, you think I got really smart. But the prompting is the key. Prompt that subconscious mind constantly. Read your affirmations. Read a story about yourself. Write a voice message. Put some earphones on and listen to yourself. Constantly go into this place.
See it as well. Feel it too.
And see it.
Yeah.
And just like a discipline, go to that place. You create a version of James, right? You write it out all out. I call it your character building, and you have like your 2.0. You write who you are. You read that every day. Don't worry about whether or not you agree or not.
Yeah.
You literally, your brain can tell you this is bull.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's still working. This is how programming works. They don't need you to believe what they're saying.
You just keep
as long as
it.
they say it to us over and over again through media, through the TV, we don't need to agree for it to start having an effect on us.
It doesn't matter if it's a lie or not. Once you repeat it enough, it'll carry conviction.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go the whole Andrew Tate route about programming and how I didn't believe all that stuff, but now that I get the psychology, like, well, yeah, that's basically what you could just do. You could just like repeat stuff over again, and it doesn't actually matter if people...
McGregor is a famous line man, and like you said, you're writing out day after day, for that entire month, but constant repetition carries conviction. If you do something again and again and again, it's hard for it not to come into fruition in your life.
Yes.
You've got to have belief, but then I think a very important element, I've started listening to a guy called Neville Goddard.
Yes.
Oh my God, man, what a man. But he said, feel it. Really feel it.
Feeling is the secret.
Feeling is the secret.
And conviction.
Of the wish fulfilled.
And conviction comes from repetition, which gives your brain the conviction that you say this so many times, we must actually be that, right? We're actually that guy, which then gives you, what does your brain work off? Emotion. And we only learned, let me give you something, right? Biofeedback. Do you know what biofeedback is?
No.
So before I got into let's say entrepreneurship, and before I was actually going, and I was football, I used to play League of Ireland football, and then I didn't make it. I played for Longford Town for 4 years. I'm 14. I was all about football only. And I didn't make it. Then I went to DCU and I studied biotech. I loved science. Did it for 4 months, dropped out. But biofeedback, I'm always interested in this stuff. Before, I think it's like the 1990s or 1980s, some people had this theory that what we would think actually had an effect on us. And everybody went, bull, that that is not a real thing. Then some scientist goes, oh, when you think a negative thought, you think something bad called stress, your brain releases cortisol. Then they go, oh, when you're really happy, your brain releases dopamine. Then we started realizing, okay, feelings release chemical reactions in our brain.
Yeah.
So take this back to what I'm saying, right? Repetition, brain goes, oh, maybe we actually are this person. Conviction releases the emotion for you. It really release chemical emotions. That gives you the feeling. And that feeling is the secret.
You've got to feel the feeling.
Exactly.
Your words are very powerful. There's a famous, Japanese scientist, and he done an experiment with water and words. I don't know if you've ever seen this before.
Yes.
But the symbolism, your words have a symbolic attachment to them.
Basically, they were shouting at the crystal or saying something negative to it, and they looked different
the crystals would change
than the one that they said something positive to. And it was just to show that words release an energy and it connects to something else of energy. Because as we learned in science in day one, everything is energy. We did learn this in school.
It's so true.
It's just that's actually one of the first science. I think that's probably the first thing we learn in science.
The beginning of everything, though. Energy.
Right.
Yeah.
So knowing this, basically what we're learning, this is what quantum physics is. And fair play to the guys, the Einsteins and stuff. They actually are all studying this quantum. That's all about. What is that quantum physics is about is the world on a molecular level. They are really discovering so many things. The issue really is that you see their studies. These guys are just crazy nerds. So when you hear about Einstein, do you even know what Albert Einstein was famous for? Really? No. We just know this guy was a smart guy. The research is really deep. But then what it is you take some of that stuff and people can filter it down. They filter it down then into information, that's what this stuff is. The information about your mind, consciousness, conviction, it's actually linked to quantum physics. That all of these Nobel Peace Prize scientists, they are not meant to be the explainers. They're the discoveries. They test it.
It's always been here.
It's always tested. That's that sort of test. So that science experiment showed something. That's that guy's job. He cannot explain to us then, and let me explain to you how. If this happens, that means that, well, if something else is energy, it must change that too. It's just they're gonna build up onto it, and they give us proof. The scientist's job is to give us all proof by building onto it. Now, I believe if you wait for proof, science is going to always be a little bit behind. Not in a negative way, but because science is based off proving stuff. Let me ask you a question. Before Isaac Newton saw the apple fall from the tree and went, okay, and developed a theory on gravity, did gravity exist?
It was already there, yeah.
Gravity had been there for 4 million years. He didn't invent it. Nobody invents anything. We just discover what was already there. Whenever the iPhone, the touchscreen technology, and when we discover the internet, which is I can call you and my voice can travel across the air to your ear across the world. When we discovered that, did we invent that or was that always there?
It's always here.
Everything. So
everything's always here, man.
That's the thing. Science
tapping into
will always be a step behind. And the theory is that there's people, the ancient people, the mystics, the Egypt, they skipped the science part and just went straight to the sauce. And then we went to an era of science first, sauce second.
We will get back to the conversation in just a second, but if you're enjoying this episode, please leave a 5-star review, share with a friend, and make sure to hit that follow button for the next episode. And what this will do is just help the podcast grow and grow so I can get bigger and better guests as we go along. All the best. Because you have a belief about this kind of spiritual, esoteric wisdom and like you mentioned before we got going, you've worked with guys in this space as well that have had great impact on your own life.
And I think I link and I like the both sides. Like I have another book, I like another guy, 3 Simple Steps, right? And he was a scientist fully. I'm actually a scientifical brain, and that's why it's kind of strange, because I'm a logical thinker. And logically, there is science. So I actually, we call it things, esoteric, whatever, these type of things. I just look at it as actually the science of the universe.
Yeah.
Right? The science of that is what science is. Science is just the study of what's going on in the universe, guys. So I look at this stuff as there is a way that you can take some of this new research, the quantum stuff, and I would do a lot of research into that. I would actually look at a lot of the experiments. I know a lot of the experiments. I went to a really in-depth program about like quantum physics and some of the discoveries they made. Not to learn like E = mc squared. I don't even know what that means, right? But to learn what was the experiment, what was the result. Then I was able to go, wow, what does this mean for
your own life?
For my own life. And that's where I started connecting it with this. So I started to see that, okay, we are making advancements where we actually are starting to know this for facts. But we could also it's basically just saying the same thing that these people were saying 1,000 years ago. So I'm like, low-key, I'm like, who do I listen to then? Because you guys are telling me it, but you're slow. 1,000 years late, brother. Like, somebody wrote this in a book like 300 years ago. Why did we only understand this now? So I'm like, I'm just going to go straight with the guy who's like, was 300 years ahead.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. And like people call it mysticism and all, but it's really the science of
life,
science of the brain, and eventually we'll give it another name. This is quantum physics wasn't a thing. We'll give it another name very in the future, I'm sure, like, quantum universal science or something.
Yeah.
And they'll keep on branching up, and we'll take it as it goes. So I'm optimistic about everybody is going to have a very big opportunity to
utilize these opportunities.
100%. I think it's just more the human race advancing, or maybe remembering. I don't know which one it is.
I think it's remembering. Probably more on the remembering side.
Probably.
You touched on before we got going that you've worked with someone that's fascinating and blown up at the moment is
Yes.
Mr. Neuro Knowledge.
Neuro Knowledge.
With a great book, Outsmarting Reality. And the main thing, or the one thing I took away from that is like, we touched on emotions and how emotions feed into that subconscious part of your mind. You've got to feel it. You've got to feel it deep down. But from working with him anyway, what was the biggest takeaway that you took?
That's a deep question. That's a big one. What is the biggest thing that I took? I think the biggest thing that I took away from Neuro Knowledge was the knowledge that I am not cause and effect. I think that was one of the biggest ones, was every effect came from a cause, and that cause is internal. Meaning every single thing I want, desire, happened to me came from an internal cause. Basically, it makes you go extreme self-responsibility. Means if you kick me, I go, why did I make you kick me? Right? So I started thinking about, what was I thinking, feeling? What was the stuff that was going on in my mind? What was I doing that gave you that then expression, that intuition in your mind to go, yeah, kick him. So that's a big one. That's one of the walls from the Kapalian. And what that does is it takes the world, we look at the world, we actually do everything effect backwards. We see stuff happen to us and we go, man, like, I'm weak and this stuff happens to me and I'm lucky or unlucky. It completely flipped me to being luck is created, unluckiness is also created.
Guaranteed. And
you can take it back to the cause level. And then I started then being more aware, okay, let me control my causes, or let's say when something happens, I started looking, what did I do? What did I cause? When I was able to do that, I was able to then start having less bad effects because I was aware of what impulse I was putting in. And it sort of gave me more, I guess, control on my reality. Where before it was basically like it's uncontrollable and there's things outside of my hand, which is like if you think about it, that's a helpless state. And it's not true. By the way, it's categorically not true.
And it's also a victim mentality.
It's a victim mentality which keeps us all down, but taking that responsibility mentality frees everybody. Everybody can do whatever they want. It doesn't affect me. Like you can do whatever you want, get whatever you want. It does not mean anything for me. Like you can get whatever you want whenever you want. That's why I'm a people's everybody. I'm like, everybody can do whatever they want. Everybody can. And whatever I want to do, I can do. And it doesn't affect each other. I'm like, just go do it then. Guys, just go do whatever you want to do. Like, just start understanding your causes, start creating your effects. And let's just then all like have a few cigars together and chat stories. And that's all it's about then for me. Is just, I just care about like having more people that I can like chat with in this way and think about, okay, what else do we want to create now? What is the future?
Creation,
like,
man.
What do we want to...
And it feels so good to create.
That is it. And I believe that's really what this is. I have a thing where I say like, you know, this generation or our generation through, you know, in the future, there is going to be a return of like that Celtic tiger. And like the tiger is, you know, it's quiet and it's in the cage. But at the time, it will be out again. And it will be out roaring. And this generation, us, we have that ability and that freedom. And we're going to have the access to things to be able to push Ireland even further. Big time. I know everyone's very despondent about Ireland, but I'm very much like, I see something and I'm like, don't worry. It's in our hands. And our hands, I believe, are very safe. I actually am very optimistic about the young people in Ireland. And I believe just this stuff, all I'm doing is just giving people the sparks and raising up those like people so that 15 years we'll look back and be like, wow, we flipped the people who are now in charge of everything and are in the positions. At this age, we're hearing this sort of stuff, right? So I'm very
so
optimistic.
Empowering.
Yes,
so empowering. Like you mentioned, creating your own world and understanding the law of cause and effect and how your inputs affect your outputs.
Yes.
For you, with that cause and effect, with the kind of law of the universe, what was one thing in particular that you'd done that had a massive effect on your life? Like, what was one cause that you constructed up inside yourself to go on and have a great effect on your life?
Yeah. So, like, what was one cause?
Or was there many? There might have been many.
There was many, right? One of the biggest ones was belief about money, I guess. And if you look at belief about money, right, the whole thing is like, if you say you need, like, if you're like, man, I want more money, the effect is you having a feeling and actually having the outcome of like wanting more money.
Which
meaning
is lack.
You will have your business or whatever you're doing doesn't work. So that you go, man, I want more money. Do you get what I mean? Like it started in your mind, and then you're wondering, like, why isn't it getting here? It's like your words. You had to change it to I have. So the change was more it was more like I stopped wanting things. I actually stopped wanting like anything. Very strangely during that time, I just literally had a simple life. Simple. Chill, go for it was normal. It wasn't this stuff and everything is like just for like fun and for brand. It was very simple because I stopped wanting. And when you stopped wanting things, which is like I stopped magnetizing like the feeling of want, it then became more like either I have, I don't have, which is both fine. But then it's like I can be like, okay, I do this versus I want to. So that was a big change because I want to was creating the effect of my life was reflecting a Joshua who wanted more things because he didn't have them.
Wanting's always, you're coming from a lack in, like it's just lack. If you want something, you don't have it.
Yes.
It's a source of lack.
There's actually something called the map of consciousness. I don't know if you've ever seen it, the pyramid, right? And desire is, Levels of Energy is a great book, by the way. Frederick Dodson, Neuro is one of his favorite books too. So Levels of Energy.
Levels of Energy.
It breaks through the map of consciousness and explains each part, and explains what it looks like.
Everyone just understood that, man.
If we read this in school, we'd all be fine. And desire, funny enough, you've got, let's say it starts at like hate, negativity,
apathy,
grief, shame. Desire is actually like just in the middle where it was below other things that I was like, I thought desire was like the biggest one. I thought it was all about I want something and setting your mind to it. No, desire is still better than being apathy. So if you're someone right now, you're listening to this and you're like sitting and you're like just not thinking about anything in life, desire is good. It's it's raising you up right now and it's gonna bring you up. Now, at a certain level, desire is like a middle point. You have to go to the next. There's ones above that, which is more like gratitude, right? I think acceptance, peace, love. So those things is more about like accept whatever it is that it is, and you're actually grateful for everything. You're just like, man, I'm just happy that it's sunny today, and I'm just happy for life. And what that did was during that time, I unlocked like a very like euphoric, like every day was great, man. Like I didn't really do that much. I didn't have that much. I was literally just like I would wake up at 8 a.m. If anyone that knows me, I'm not a mornings person. I just wake up, and I was so happy. And what that was is, you see, when you have that feeling first, then it reads it back and goes, he's happy. He has everything. Effect in this reality, you then have everything.
You have it all, man.
It comes down next. It's the lag effect. It then will lag. And what happened was literally 5 months after this, I then went to my biggest run, consistent run of crazy, like I have stories for this for days, wins in business. Like it was just like a 4-month delay of lag time. So the key is hold the frequency for long enough. Understand that effect is second. It has a lag time, lag effect. Not that it needs to have to, but that's just how it
that's how it works.
Because we are just like, we look at everything in time, and it has to take some time.
It's like planting a seed in the ground.
Yes.
When you plant it, you're not going to go day after day picking it up, see if it's growing. You have to let it mature, let it germinate, let it do its thing, and over time it springs into this beautiful flower.
Yes.
You don't ask how or when. You just know it is, and you hold that frequency and you use that energy, and it's a gravitational pull.
Yes.
Like you said, it's just like, let it happen. There's a lag time. There is, like, it's good to actually understand there's a lag time, because I think
that's the difficult part.
A lot of people get frustrated because there's lack of patience. Be patient and persistent, and it will.
What I say, give yourself a mentality of when you then put it on, you have that, and you get the internal, you're going to be tested. And it's going to test you, because before you can have it, actually, it wants to be, are you really that person inside? So a lot of things can actually, this is what happens. When you start doing that stuff, and you get something, like you're set, like I want to 3x my business, you know what's going to happen? Something can happen. 2 weeks later, your biggest client leaves. What that is, it's almost like your current self, current reality, like doesn't want to leave. So it will do everything by sabotaging things for you and make you go back to like, man, I'm just not that person. Like my business is going to go down. Boom, there, it's done. It stopped. So what you have to be able to do is have those things happen and be like, awesome, perfect. Doesn't really matter anyways, because that's that. And when you do that, it goes, oh shit, he's all right. Guys, he ain't joking. Like
the universe is testing you.
It's literally a test, and
it's
it goes. I just basically set new targets. I kind of stay and I wait for like the test and whatever crap, and I go, all good, cool. It's all then it goes.
It's because you're aware of it. That's what it is.
We can't beat this. We can't beat this guy.
Can't shake
right
this
now.
guy. Can't shake him.
That's what like Conor McGregor is like, right? Conor McGregor just like is so solid in his mind, and he knows there's going to be many like things about it, and he just holds it. He says one thing. There's one interview that I actually like. It's a clip where the guy's talking about Jose Aldo and coming to the fight, and he goes, "There is no Jose Aldo. There is no nobody. There's just yourself." He's basically saying that like, what's gonna happen between him and Jose Aldo is not in Jose Aldo's hands. It's not about Jose Aldo. It's him. Will he beat him? Will he not? How high is his conviction? Is it already done? So that's how Conor operates, and that's why he says, I don't just win the fights. He picks the rounds. Don't you realize how crazy that is to pick the rounds of the biggest fight ever in your career at the biggest spotlight? He's basically trying to show, and I don't know if he knows he's doing it. He does know he's doing this, but like he's showing that it's like he believes it so much so that he can say which round it is, just to basically prove to himself that it's not chance. Right? And then when it happens in that round, he gets a double confirmation where he's like, okay, I didn't just beat the guy because I thought I would beat him. I beat him, and I actually said which one I was going to beat him on, and I had full conviction, and he could just be bullying himself, testing it out. And that's what it's like. It's like, basically you'll do it, and you'll test it out with something like, okay, let me just try this number, this target, and let me just pick this exact target. And let me just hold it delusionally, and like, happens. You're like, oh, so it's not lucky. Boom, let me try it again. Third time, there's what happens after like the second, third time. I see what we talk about quantum leaps, because then it's just like, why would I just go up to the next one? Why not 10x it, as Grant Cardone says? Why not, as Elon Musk and these guys say, pick your goal that you think you're going to do in 10 years and just reduce it to 12 months.
Yeah, I love that.
So these people, the greats, the people that in these big positions, they are clued in. They are very, very smart. These Grant Cardones, these people at these levels, these Conor McGregors, that is what they've used to achieve it. And what I like about them is like they're now we're in an age where in the past, this was all gatekeeped. It was like, that's what they call it, esoteric. It was secret societies.
Yeah.
Now it's on Instagram. Now like Grant Cardone's, now Conor McGregor is like posting, talking about it in interviews and on Reels. So that's a positive change, is that now like it's just something we talk, I'm here talking about it.
Yeah.
In the past, it was more like, oh,
Hush,
damn,
hush. Yeah.
got this? Shh. It's
Because
my
it is
advantage.
empowering.
It is.
At the end of the day, you're creating your own world. You're alchemizing life.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing you touched on more than anything there, where Conor McGregor's example especially, is this deep faith. Because of your faith, it will happen. I think that's from Matthew 9:29 or 29:9. But it's so true. If you've got the faith, and like you said, you'll be tested. Maybe your biggest client will leave, or something negative or bad. But you've got to just hold still, because you can either operate from two paradigms, faith or fear, which both get you to believe in the unknown.
100%. And what is fear?
What is fear?
What is fear?
Fear is a sense of loss. It's a lower state.
It's faith in it not working out.
Oh.
It's all about faith. There's no such thing as fear. It's all faith. You either have faith it works out, you have faith it doesn't work out. So when you believe in fear, it's because you have faith it won't work out.
Wow.
When you believe it works out, you have faith that it does. So it's literally just faith. You're just your faith's in a different thing. And as you said, there's literally a verse in the Bible. I'm not going to butcher because I don't know exactly, but I know it's like whenever you ask, be then it received. Basically, like when you ask for something, you pray about it, go about it as God has already given it. So go about with that feeling of gratitude, that gratefulness, that set of it's set out. Now I just go out and be a good person.
Yeah.
Then what basically happens is there's no hustle, there's no competition, there's no need for me to like strategize how to beat people or anything like that. It's just like, all right, in the meantime, I'm gonna go have a great time, go to great dinners, meet cool people, play paddle or do whatever I want to do, and like be a good person, because those things it's not what I'm going to do that's going to get me the outcome, really. So then it's very easy then to just like detach from it and then focus on the principles, which is, I think, is being good humans, right? Caring for each other, helping each other, inspiring each other, whatever your thing is, not like to get all wishy-washy, whatever your thing is. I think people think why people look down on making money, and I think it's a belief we all have initially, is people who have lots of money or more money, you believe that more money means you are going to have to do bad things
to attain it,
right? So people don't believe that abundance comes with positivity at all. They believe, like it's said, like like some people, they don't have a great life, they don't have all this type of stuff, and that fear is basically to keep you there. Like, okay, well, I actually don't want that stuff, because if I did, I must have to go and be bad. This way of thinking, the way I operate in this way, is like, okay, this stuff that I want, I already have, and there's nothing I'm going to have to do, negative or positive. So let me choose. Who do I want to be then? I want to be a good person. Perfect. Be a good person. Equally, this is why bad people have things. Because you could also do this and then go, I want to be a bad person. And then be a bad person and still have the outcome. It's not a moral bad or good person sort of thing. And then I just think then it's about down to you. Choose the type of person you want to be. That's completely separate to money. It has nothing to do with achieving an outcome. Not even as about money, whether it's about hitting success. It's nothing to do with it. Is that it's all about the state of you that's having. That's why, yes, you do see successful people or wealthy people that are not good people. You wonder, how do they get it? Like, why is is there not like some sort of moral thing out there that like all the good people in the world should only, but if you're a good person, but you're operating in a state of lack and you have faith and fear. And faith and fear is having something else. You don't have faith in God. You don't have faith in the creator you're having faith in something else, which, in the Bible, we're not going to too depths into the Bible stuff, but that's like an idol, which is fear is actually an idol. And negativity is an idol and stuff. So that's literally like, it's not about just being a good person. And that's actually kind of what it says in the Bible. So it's not about your fruits of your spirit. It's not about your fruits, like how good you are. That doesn't get you. This stuff, do that. Yes, operate first with full faith. Faith is mentioned, I think, like 100 times in the Bible. Operate first like that. Then, yes, it does say be a good person. So, like, do be good. Let's be good people.
Treat your neighbor.
But I think people do it backwards. It's like good first, but it's okay for me to be a lack of abundance and be very fearful, worry all the time, have no confidence in everything, and but I'm a good person.
Abundance is your birthright. As
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
This is quite a lot of guys. Take your time with this. This is
this is some deep stuff, man.
Yes.
Which I'm absolutely loving. You mentioned God there in the Bible. How did you begin to have faith in God, or what was your journey to God?
My mom had a strong faith in God growing up herself. Not necessarily just a religious sense, like we went to church, but I think church is a community of people coming together. Don't go too religious. It's not about religion. And I think from a young age, I always believed that there was something
within you
else.
Okay.
Okay. It wasn't like all me. I think thinking it's all you in a funny way is an egotistical approach. Meaning
it's a very lonely life.
Life, yeah. Right? I'm not telling you that like not believing in God, whatever, is not that you're not but it's not a religion sense. What I mean is like the approach that it's only you and we did everything, because if you believe there's nothing else, basically you believe like humans are the most important thing, and like we did everything and we built everything and we're like the main source of all of everything. That's basically what you believe. You believe that we're actually like the all-powerful things. But there's just so much amazing stories, but also crazy stories in the world to be like, it's just us. Like we can't even explain how the pyramids were built. We can't explain how these natural wonders. We can't explain how miracles happen. We cannot explain many things. So it just made me always go, okay, there's something else. And that's then when I obviously read the Bible when I was younger. My mom used to read me stories. She used to read me the Bible stories like growing up. But I think that stuff, many people can have that start, and that's not really like, it's when it becomes yours. And then for a period of time, I was a normal teenager, 18, 19, 20, 17, where I get it, but like, yeah, it exists on Sunday, but Monday to Saturday, we're out there, we're playing games, we're playing FIFA, we're thinking about parties, we're like, what's going on, we're texting. So that stuff is like, from like that age, it was pretty much like, yeah, it's there, but it's not like
present.
It's like separate from life. It was around that 19 onwards. And I think what happens is life humbles you. That's what will happen. Life humbled me. Like I got to a point, I was this, successful League of Ireland player from academies growing up, had a great future ahead of me, was good in school. I was always planning ahead. COVID happens. Okay, out of my control. Don't worry about it. Switch. I'll go to DCU. I'll go play football there. I'll go do some other things. And then, okay, perfect. I'll go study a good degree. Get there. The degree was like my third. I hated it. Too much going on. Partying. Everyone's Freshers Week took me out. There's too many things going on. I got to December, and you can tell I'm probably a happy general. I've always been energetic. I always thought it was only possible to be happy. I got depressed. That's what I call it now, depression, because I got to a point where my work was so overwhelming how much I needed to catch up. I didn't like my degree. I could not believe that I was going to be going into this life where now I wasn't going to be this uber doing something awesome and, inspiring and like, being something that I'd always wanted to be. And I literally would not want to get out of my bed in college. This is around I was 18 until 6 p.m. when I had training for the DCU men's team. And I would then get out of bed because at least I've got football training. That was the one thing I liked. This period was like what I call probably like apathy, actually, where I got so low. And one day I call my mom on the phone and I'm like, Mom, because my mom put everything in my education, and I thought, it's like, I just can't do it anymore. I just called and I started crying. That was when I broke. And I think what happened in that period was I humbled myself. It humbled me greatly that myself alone, this journey it's going to be incredibly tough. And I'm gonna find some hard parts, and it's in these moments that you go like, God, because you've nothing else
to turn to,
nothing else to turn to, like something else out there, like you got something for me, and then you start trying to do some actions. You start operating a bit more with this, like, okay, today, God, I'm gonna go out. everyone's going to be in a good mood. Go out, make sure everyone's in a good mood today. Change everyone's hearts in a good way. Because I remember the Bible verse of like when God could change the hearts of like the Pharaoh when Moses wanted to talk. Okay, God can go and change people's hearts. Okay, I'm going to knock on doors, but God, you're going to go and do the work in their hearts first of all and change them. So when they open the door, they're like, oh, nice. So that's when I started. Then I started walking on it and I started achieving. And the biggest lesson then from there is to never forget. The issue is then you have to continually humble yourself, because what happens is you will achieve them things. It's very quick then to be like, I'm the best sales guy in all of Ireland. I was the number one door-to-door guy in phone watch in the country at this age very quickly. I'm this number one sales guy out there. I'm the top guy. Like, it's all, people ask you, how do you do it, Josh? It's because I'm like a genius. I'm just really good at this stuff. Then you start blowing your own boat. But what happens is then you start getting back into your confidence in only just you. And when something inevitably stops working or goes the other way, you completely crash again, because you're like, oh my God, I thought it was all me. And then like you start trying to do things. So it's basically I just had since then for the last 3 years, 2 times or 3 times where after a meteoric rise, then I was like, you'd forget the fundamentals, forget God, forget like it's not just yourself, that it's put it into that hand first. Then I just after like the second time I was like, all right, I'm not gonna forget ever again. I'm never gonna forget that it's God first, whatever, frequency first, action. I will not. And that's why I made it a literal devotion. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I will not, or 9 to 12, most of that, 9 to 1, I will not do work. I will always remember, first of all, that first part of the day, I'm thinking about working more alongside. When I go to sleep, I will always have a little sleep routine, 30 minutes, where I'm thinking more and being gratitude and connecting back. And that's what, I was watching something recently from Ajayi, and he was talking about how his biggest thing is always is remembering to be humble and not taking the credit and being like, man, appreciate it, like guys, like I'm just I'm getting all these things and stuff, but really it's not just all me.
It's all God.
You got to do that for yourself, because you will get lost, and that's where your ego comes back in, and that's where we see meteoric falls. That's why we have so many rises, because people rise up, and then the pressure, the idea, the power, the idea that it's all you takes over. So you need people, family, your mothers, your family, good friends, to always ground you, keep you grounded, that you're just a normal person. Yeah. You're breakable. You're on your own, you're nothing. You're just a guy.
You've got to have that
you're
humility.
Just a guy.
Yeah, you're just a guy. And God has just blessed you.
Yeah, exactly. And you just allowed God to operate in your life. When you allowed him to operate, he cooks. Yeah. Obviously, as he said he would. He said he would cook. He said, asking it shall be given, seeking it shall find. He said, all right, y'all ask, let me do the thing. Yeah. So you asked it and you did it, and then you went like, oh man, like, look at me cooking, bro. No.
God's cooking.
Yeah, so obviously then, so people who are good at it, they're able to match the 2 identities into one. So even when they say I or myself, I'm doing, they're not only just speaking from their self, they see I as both.
I am.
Like I am, like it's a business partner, like that's your partner is one. And that's what it's basically meant to. The whole point is like then you operate always as one.
Yeah. And how is it that you form that connection with God on a daily basis?
That one of them, create a routine. We call it like your slow mornings, your metaphysical mornings, your whatever it is, that morning time. How you start the day is exactly what you continue during the day. So when you start and you think first about work, business, what you got to do, that means what's the most important thing to you?
In regards to
that means
routine?
Like if you did that, if you woke up in the first couple of hours, you focus first on like
first thing I do is
business
meditate.
And all that stuff. What do you think that means is important to that sort of person?
Their actions.
Exactly. Their actions, business, and those things have been kind of idols. So money becomes an idol because you wake up, the first thing you think about is, okay, what am I going to do in my business? I'm going to do some outreach. But what are you doing outreach for? To get more clients. Why? Because you want more money. So basically you're waking up and you're just going money. That's idolatry. That's when you become an idol. So start your days and always make sure that first part of your day, go do something else like nature. Appreciate nature. Be grateful. Just enjoy something happy. That's great. That's a great way, right? Community. Go have a Bible study that you go to, right? Something like that. If you want to do that, if you're into that, have something that you go once in a while, or an online one. There's a great guy, Matt Moore, Elevate. He's a really great guy. He's somebody that does that in some of the teams. Or find mentors and people. I have like someone as well, like Neuro Knowledge. Find people that you set in time in place that no matter what, each month you've got 1, 2, 3 people that you're going to chat to that you know are very, very good at not forgetting, right? So you just have these people because we have a chipmunk brain. You can do all this stuff, and then 2 weeks happens. You just forget it, and then you come out of it. You know what it's like, and you're like, crap. Like, so it's good to have people around you that stop that. So, you know, your things in the morning, having something during the week that you can go to, having a mentor or two that keeps you on that. That's why I like meditation, because meditation is a dedicated action that is about slowing your mind down, taking yourself out of like the importance of the world and going more inside, which then allows you to go more, you know, you're more aware. So that's why I like it, because it's a habit. Just like you say, you go to the gym every day. It's a habit that always reminds you that that thing is important. Now, those are all the best things you can do. We're human, right? You're gonna mess up. You're gonna forget sometimes. You're gonna go, but these will reduce the forgetting periods. For some people go into these 8-month, 1 year, 2 year. It reduces it to like 2 weeks, 1 week. You know, you had 5 days where it's just stressful, but then you spoke to that mentor that you always meant to have that meeting with on Monday. He brings you back. You got 5 days of stressful. You're like, man, I'm just gonna meditate today. You meditate, you're like, man, how did I forget? Right? That's what it's like every single time. So having these things in place, what I call them is like, you need to have your rescue mechanisms. When you forget, because you will, because the world's intense and fast-paced, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're putting yourself in front of everybody. When you forget, what are your rescue mechanism? What are you going to do to like bring yourself back? I had one really even recently where a week ago, I had canceled all my meetings for 7 days on the calendar. Nero made me do this, and I had no meetings, no work, and I did a week away, like just in this really cool hotel out in Marbella in the hills with my partner, and I didn't work, I didn't go on my phone, I deleted WhatsApp, Instagram. It was a detox, and I've never done one of these before, and it just showed me like, wow, this is a really quick way to reset it back. And I do that obviously with meditation, with knowing that I can go for walks, with knowing I have 1, 2, 3 people that I can like be like, yo, I want to book a call in, or having a friend. Have a friend, maybe have a community of people, right? And not plugs or anything like that, any community, right? Obviously people, if they hear this, know I have a community, but it's not about that. The community is that you have multiple people that most likely also are aware, okay, I need to keep this on top form. And if you forget this week, somebody might be having their best week with it. So that friend reminds you. Then whenever like they forget, you're having your best week with it. So that's why people will then keep you together. If you want to go fast. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go with people. Because when you go alone, you're going to go fast, but then you can crash. People will keep you going far because they'll hold you up all the way. So I would say people's a big one. That's why I'm a big community fan with like what we're doing with Affinity sales training, what James Gallagher's doing with A players clubs. Like for us, you know, people don't understand. Like it's the community. It's that I believe fully that community and people is what exactly will help you keep that stuff up, not forget, and not go into those isolated minds. And a lonely man, it's a dangerous place. And we don't talk about this, you know, mental health, you know, with men. You know, obviously we know that like there's some crazy statistics on like depression and suicide in young men. It's in Ireland one of our, I think, our biggest killers as well. And it's predominantly male. And predominantly in an age group that is very worrying, a low age group between the ages of 20 and 30. So looking at the average age, it's horrifying. That age, why? We're too lonely. People are lonely, and what it is like depression stats don't actually even show that men, because we don't talk about it. So the depression statistics, because you have to have a stat on depression, you have to report it, obviously, that you're depressed. Men don't. We don't.
Hide it away.
We hide it away.
Yeah. We
keep it inside out of masculinity and strength, and you know, I gotta just hold it up. But that loneliness and isolation, that is a trap, and that is you know, what I believe that is like the whatever. If there was gonna be a bad force, evil force, or whatever, or negative thing out there, that is the trick to keep you on your own. Because on your own, you can be broken. You can get an idea in your mind, a worry, a fear. You see, if you've got 5, 6 guys around you, you guys are all cross-minded, cross-pollinating. You get one of those bro goes, snap out of that, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
But you're getting
You've got
feedback.
it.
You're getting feedback.
You're getting feedback. You've got this. You're gonna do it. Don't worry. We've all been through it. We're boys. We're gonna that brotherhood. You know, again, I'm not like different people have different things, and we all know the takes and all that stuff. But the brotherhood will hold you strong and keep you going far. So I'm passionate about brotherhood, sisterhood too. We you know, my partner, my girlfriend, she leads the female part for me. She has a female community now of like females that are getting into self-improvement stuff. And it's about creating packs, because when we go together, we've always, as humans, we've always protected each other and been able to go. And what happened to me, and it looks like, is in this world, we were going together. Technology came into place and we got phones. And though it looks like we're all connected because we follow each other, we're more isolated in real life because we don't actually physically see one another.
Yeah.
So we're actually,
that's where the
we
power
have
is.
It's fake connection, meaning the version of ourselves online is not real. We don't post online like, hey guys, I woke up today and I do not like my hair, don't like my weight, and I'm not doing well. Hey everybody, and all my friends, I don't feel good today. What do? We post a picture of our coffee and we go, happy Monday, right? So you don't know that in my brain, like, I'm actually cooked. So that is what I call, it's like a fake layer of connection, which is just the online. So we got to break that. And I think community and the communities that we're doing is we're breaking just online as one step. Like, how can we, yes, online is amazing because you can spread out and find more people. But then how can we bring that into real and make that into real relationships? You know, A players, they run these amazing in-person events all across Europe, bringing people. We have a black tie event in 2 weeks in Lake Como, like 100 people coming out, lots of Irish entrepreneurs, young people. And that in-person thing will keep people together. And I know this for a fact, because I know people that have been in communities that started with very poor mental health. Yeah. And that's what it is. You can say that when we post a win, hey, someone started and did well in whatever business or their agency or sales. What I see is this person started with low mental health and in a very isolated place. And they've come to a place of confidence, belief, and what sparked that? Other people. Other people around them, seeing camaraderie, seeing other people going for things, seeing other people holding each other up. So that is also a big passion as well, is obviously like that mental health aspect, because it is a big, and it's like, I'm not doing one of those cliche things. I wasn't, even growing up, as I said, I didn't actually think depression like you could be. I was just a happy person always. So I was very, ignorant of it. I was accommodating, meaning I'm always like, man, I feel sorry about that. I hope you're doing okay. But I didn't understand until my experience with it. Now I understand, and I see it in my friends we went to school with that are in places now, and my friends will message me, Josh, like, I see it, and I get it. I get messages literally every day from people that I spent years with in school, having the craziest laughs. We had the best crack. And they message me like, I'm just going through a period of my life right now. And I'm like, bro, like, this is dangerous. Who's around this person? Who does he support? Who does he know to go to? If he doesn't know how to message me, and then maybe I can have him like network and make some friends with people that can all work together, he'd be alone. That thought would develop into something else, which then it would develop into something else. Which would spiral. Yeah. That's scary. So I believe community building, what you're doing an amazing job, because you're a part of that. Doing podcasts, you're spreading that knowledge, you're spreading that information, you're spreading that advice that somebody could get in that moment. You're on that side of it as well, of change and bringing it more down to people. And that's why media is great. And then I think communities and stuff like that is an amazing new opportunity as well to solidify. So I'm just loving working alongside people like yourself in this change. And I think it's not 6 months, 3 months. It's a long game, but you got to have the right people around. So it's good to see people like yourself doing these podcasts and stuff.
It is, man. And the fact is, like, what is the quote? But a rising tide lifts all boats. Like, getting around the right people, having these conversations where they can influence someone to go on and live a better life and get connected. I think the human psyche, what it wants more than anything is human connection.
100%.
We all want it, man. We crave it. We yearn for it.
Yes.
And I think it's important to know. And like you kind of touched on as well, a lot of work that we do nowadays is online. But what we need more than anything is the real life experience, is to feel someone's energy, is to be around them, hear how they talk, what their mannerisms are, their facial expressions, because it gives us feedback and it makes us feel whole.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if I said to someone, what's changed about the world from 1,000 years ago? It's technology. We've got social media, so the world's a different place. But what if I unveiled your eyes in a different perspective and said it's not a different place? Because where were humans 1,000 years ago? On the floor, on the ground, walking
around each other.
Are we still around each other? Are we still on a planet?
We are.
So nothing has changed.
As far as I'm aware.
So we're still here. But what we created was another world. The internet, social media.
Artificial world.
Artificial. And in that world, we create different personas and stuff. And that can have its positives. It definitely can. I'm literally not a fearmonger. It has its positives. And I believe, I'm an optimist, believing that it's done a greater good in this world and will always do a greater good than any of its downsides. But at the same time, we've then forgotten that the real world is actually still here. It didn't change. It didn't change the fact that if I walk past you, I'm like, oh, that's a human. And like, if I could shake your hand, I'd be like, oh, nice to meet you. That didn't change. We just decided to stop doing it because I don't need to do that because maybe I can just go online and find out who you are and follow you. But it's like that. So, right, I see the benefit of the online because we can keep that connection going for a long time. We can keep that connection worldwide. It can enhance the human interaction to wider scales, not replace it, which is basically what we've done. We've replaced the human the interaction versus seeing technology and the phone and social media as like, this was meant to enhance it. It was meant to allow us to keep those relationships going further, even because if I now go to Spain, before I don't get to then keep in contact, and if you were someone that was a friend and we had a great time, like, you can still use that time to stay together. Now what it is though, like, oh, I don't get off my phone, I don't get off my laptop, I don't go outside. I stay only in this world. That to me is where it's like, that's the mistake that we've been making, and it's not a. You got to understand, like, technology, social media is still new. In the grand scheme of the world, 15 years is nothing. Right. So 15 years ago, it wasn't a thing. 15 years ago, it is a thing. So obviously, like, we wouldn't have known, like, the technology is amazing. We wouldn't have known what are the mistakes we made. And I think that's what we're meant to do. Try new things, try new technologies, push it out because it's obviously better. It helps us. Then figure out, okay, what about it are we not, what are we doing? What's the parts of it that's not correct that we did a bit wrong? And for me, it's we've started having social media be too like a virtual thing, and we forget about real life, real life connection. I don't know if that's why Andrew calls it the real world or whatever it is, but like, I believe the real world connections, we need to start focusing more on that, creating more in-person communities again, meeting up with people, when last have you been to like many big events? People don't do that normally. Unless you're one of us, you're an entrepreneur. We seek masterminds. But like that was a normal thing where you would just meet up with lots of people who are like on the same wavelength as you and like encourage each other. But nowadays we just we only meet up for a couple of pints, maybe.
The connection's shallow.
It's very shallow. It's not real anymore.
It's not real. There's no depth there.
Not at all. You know that growing up, that like even with your friends, like when you low-key think about it, the connection was always it's just jokes, drinks, fun. There's not actually like,
it's very shallow, surface level.
It's surface level, not in a bad way. Like you love your friends. We were all doing it. None of us actually like we rarely went beneath it. It wasn't. That's what we call a brotherhood. So we got to create brotherhoods.
That's a great take-home message. Great take-home message. I love that, Josh. Tell me, I'm not too sure, Dan, how are we looking for time?
You're an hour and 10 in?
An hour and 10, okay. We'll give it another 10 minutes or so. Tell me, you touched on relationships there, and I think it is a very key element for keeping a man grounded and having that love element in his life. How important has it been for you to have your partner? And she's seen your journey as well, hasn't she? Yeah, which is pretty incredible. How long are you together? Officially
now like 3.5 years, but we met when we were 16 in school. I'm 22 so we knew each other now for like 6 years, coming up 7. And and from the first year I had a little crush, obviously. So whether it's officially 3 years now in life, but like we knew each other like that. We grew up in the same town and stuff. But to answer your question, it's more only in the last, I'd say 2-3 years, I realized how important it is. I'm 22. As I said, I'm young.
So young, man.
So you know what it's like. You're young, going through that 16, 17-year-old age. Your body's changing, so that's normal. And, that period was there where like I didn't actually ever have a girlfriend growing up. Normally, some people had, people had girlfriends. I didn't have a girlfriend. I think we only officially, maybe when I was like 19 to 20. I know that sounds strange, but I know people had girlfriends, they're like 15, 16. Like, it's because, so that wasn't a big thing, but having a partner is like the exact same thing. Whereas when you realize that a male, masculine, has strengths, but extreme deficiencies, and a female has strengths and deficiencies, and ta-da, guess what? They both balance each other out, right? Yeah. It's not like a big secret. Then the things that I am not the greatest at, slowing down, the emotional side, which is what we usually hide as males, a female will bring that emotional side out. And it's an experience you need, because that emotion is where the answers are. If you want to figure out what's going on with yourself, why is my life not going well? Look at your predominant emotions. But you are not very aware of your emotions because we hide them. And that's what a man is like. We're less emotional beings. Now, when people hear emotional, they think of it in a negative connotation, like I'm talking about that's a weakness. That's what everybody that thinks. So a partner has allowed me to keep that emotional side always alive. And then I'm always been able to be aware of that. And it's somebody then that like I can share everything with. Like my partner, like Casey, she's the business partner behind the business partners. The insights she gives and some of the insights she's given, like I couldn't get that from anywhere else, right? And I think it's just also important because what's the whole point of this? It's not to share experiences. We were talking about this last week. We were, at the seaside, at a nice restaurant in Marbella, and she was an athlete growing up as well. She did shot put and basketball for Ireland and stuff. And I was an athlete. And then we went to those years where life went left. She went to America to go and do college. I went to do myself, and we both ended up 2 years later back in Cavan, right? Because things didn't work.
Where it all happens.
We saw, and then she went and was working as a social worker with her mom. I was working in door-to-door sales. Those are not two glamorous things. That's not glamorous. We didn't do that because we knew we're going to be like these. That wasn't it. And then so now to be together where we were and like having such a great memories and the life we have, it was like, I said one thing, I was like, listen, I'm only starting to understand it because I understand it when I travel to places now and I do things. Experiencing things alone is like, it's cool at first, but like, like when you're a kid, you want to like tell somebody, you want to like tell someone, you want to, you literally like, it's like when you're a kid, you want to tell your mom what happened today in crash. Mom, today in crash, this happened. Like this happened in prime. We love to share experiences. As you said, that's what we want to experience things and go like, hey, I want to tell you about it. That's what social media is. And that's why we created social media, because we wanted to create a platform where we can share stuff even better. And that's what content was. Yeah. So somebody smart that realized something about humans took that and made it into an industry and software. And that's how usually softwares and stuff is created, is people go very back to the basics of what humans want and then say, how can we make it better? So we now share that. And I was just like, man, I was so grateful that, I realized, because at some points during that career and door-to-door and stuff, I didn't have a partner, and I was more, at some point I thought, maybe I'm probably not going to have like a serious partner for a long time. I'm going to be one of these like young, successful, buccaneers out there. I'm going to be, what do they call it when you're, I can't remember the name for it, but I was going to be one of those guys. That's really what I was convinced. I mean, who doesn't want, like, you start thinking about that when you're younger. First you think success and all the ladies that'll be, then everything you experience. But what you realize as you more mature is that those things are not fulfilling and they're fickle, and you don't actually desire them as much as you actually desire connection, shared experience, and emotional like release. You actually really do. All men, we actually like that. We actually want that more.
No, we do.
It's
intimacy.
It's literally like ingrained in our like DNA. We just then, I don't know what we do. It's kind of like we pretend / we get distracted / it's difficult. The world and life, and it's not easy. There's going to be stuff, but like we then get lost in this pretend. And I think obviously it's from what you see, right? So what do we watch a lot? We see a lot of things we shouldn't see. Yeah. We watch a lot of shows that we shouldn't have probably seen when we were younger. We see these lives of all, like we were very much open to approach, I think when we were younger more than other generations, that you can just not have a partner and you can just be alone and you can just like go out and do whatever you want and date and have multiple partners. So because we saw that on TV. Yeah. We saw that
and it's glamorized and idolized.
And glamorized, yeah. We saw that on Instagram, on YouTube. That's how it works. It's just so again, your subconscious doesn't take something in and go, that's correct or not correct. It's just, if it's been repeated so much, it just goes, that's a viable option. What happens then though is that like in the soul level, your soul eventually always knows, crap, we were just like veiled upon. And that is also something that's also a battle in itself. Yeah. You basically have to unravel the programming that we went through, what we see, which isn't, you can do it. Everybody will be able to do it. That's also one thing, to be able to have the partner I have today. I had to deal with that work. Yeah. I really had some of the, when we weren't together, I had to go into those times and really work on unraveling those things. It's not easy. It was tough because there was definitely many things, but I eventually started to learn that they weren't really but they're not what I wanted. And listen, it's an ongoing journey. Yeah. It's an ongoing journey. Nothing is complete. I'm still learning about it and trying to develop more, trying to still understand how important that is. Yeah. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of everything, is we're constantly going to get more and more realizations.
Yeah. Josh, where does your maturity come from for a guy at your age? Where does this depth come from? Because like at 22, you're obviously not the average 22-year-old in any shape or form, but like you do have a great depth to yourself as well, and like that mature response to realize, you could have all the ladies of the world, but yeah, deep down fundamentally, it is about connection. It is about intimacy. It is about shared experience with this one person instead of hundreds or thousands of women. I don't think it's the mature masculine understands the value in a relationship, where maybe a man that's not fully integrated just yet will value sharing himself with different women.
I mean, what does it come? I think, it's a mix of many factors. There's an element of it's not me, it's not myself, and it's not something I did. Okay. Right? And I think when I was younger, I always felt a sense of, I understood adult type concepts. Remember my mom was talking about, she actually just yesterday, she said, I remember, Josh, I just came home, I haven't seen her in a while. I remember when you were 8 years old, you stood in this living room and you said, Mom, I'm going to build you a house like in my garden, in my back garden. And I was like, you can't do that because like you're going to have a wife and family, and like you don't want your mother like right beside you with your family, because then you're not going to be spending time with, your wife. Basically like a mature thing, right? And she says that to me, an 8-year-old, and I go, Mom, like, I know I can't really understand what you're saying, and like, but I know that I will get it. Like when I sometime I'll understand it soon. Basically, a very mature response. My mom says she just mentioned it to me yesterday, where I was able to notice that what she's saying is correct, but I don't have the ability at that age to actually conceptualize it, only because actually I was 8. Right? So, and when I was younger, I always felt like I understood situations, but like, because you're a kid, you don't take it seriously. So if I made a suggestion and something, it's like, shit, just Josh, come on, man. Like, that's not serious. So I didn't see it as anything. Honestly, it's the chatter in my brain. Now that I'm doing this stuff now and getting it, I kind of start remembering that. I feel like I had that, and that is not something just worked. I believe everybody also, by the way, does have this. That is my belief, is that as kids, we all unconsciously knew really high levels of like wisdom, and then the world, parents and stuff, we get limiting beliefs, we get programmings placed in us, because between the ages like 0 to 10, that's when your subconscious mind just takes everything in.
Different brainwave states.
It's a real thing. This is psychology, real psychology, where like they know, and that's why you have to do that work. So I say now what I've done a lot is I've done the backwards work. Go back to your 0 to 10, start working through the things that happen to you at 0 to 10. When you start taking those things off, you're going to start uncovering more of a deeper wisdom and understanding that you've always had. But these things that covered your subconscious, that basically your subconscious, let's say, it's created at 0 to 10. And then, afterwards it still gets changed, but it's very much your guiding principles. And we were born with the right guiding principles, is my theory. Is like, we had the guiding principles. And the guiding principles, wisdom, was then we saw too much, we were programmed, our parents gave us limiting beliefs, we saw things in the home, we saw how our parents were. So these things corrupted like our principles. So it's not like I have something special.
It's the wisdom's within.
We all had this as we started. We all have to do the work to unravel it. And I'd say, yes, maybe the only difference is, okay, I wanted to do this work. I sought to do this work at 18, 19, not 19, like 20, 21, really. I was like, okay, got to go deep into this work. This work is, as they say, the secret. So there's an element of that. It's an element of, I don't say it's luck, but, I don't know why. And that's why I feel this sense of, I do my content stuff. I'll be honest, really I like, as I said, solitude. Like I like being by myself and calm, but I feel an almost responsibility that I cannot have these levels of insights and knowledge and not share it. I feel like that is extremely selfish, and I actually see it as like I have to do this. It's like very different.
It's almost like a calling.
100%. And I whether I agree, whether I want to or not, it's like I just have to. And if not, I believe like I would be like very ungrateful for like even being able to have been lucky enough, I don't believe in luck, guys, but lucky enough or whatever it was to have had a good mother, and it's not like a great home or everything, but like to be able to stumble across this. So if I was not sharing, I feel like that would be me being very ungrateful and being very egotistical and selfish of like, just keep it for myself. And I'm going to
disservice to the world.
Disservice. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
It's a disservice to not speak about this now. And then I believe other people will also feel that because I believe other people also have insights like yourself. That's why you started your podcast, because you know what? I think differently from everybody else around me. And like, I know when I talk to people, I can give them good advice. And like, when I don't say it, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the fact that I have this sort of like energy about me to not give it to other people. That is to me the divine impulse, the universe's own impulse into everyone.
And I think we touched on it before you got going. It's not even it's me. It's just coming through me.
100%.
You've got to be a vessel. You've got to be open to it. There's muses. There's angels above us that want to channel their creative flow through you, but you have to be open to receive it.
We're just a vessel.
We're just a vessel.
Right. That's a great way to finish it off. There.
Tell me, one question I had, what sort of impact is it that you want to have in the world over the next, let's say 5 years? What is one thing that you're looking to do in particular? I know it's pretty many things.
The first immediate one over the next 5 years, I want to restart a new cycle of belief, economy, entrepreneurship in Ireland. And I believe the prime way to do that is by speaking with the current 19, 20 to 26-year-olds. I believe because of AI and stuff, the average age of what people are going to be able to have impact in the world is going to lower. So people are actually going to have very deep impacts between the ages in their 20s and in their 30s. I believe so. In the next 5 years, my impact is, how can I be a part of this Kickstarter? And I believe there's going to be a huge shift in Ireland, in this generation. And my change is just, Josh is one of the guys that like actually awakened me to it. And I joined the movement. I joined a movement. I don't know what the movement is. I'm not flipping the all. I don't know why. I don't know whatever. But I just know I have an intuitive impulse. Then the other one is, I'm originally from Nigeria. My mother is, and my father. And I was born here. But I've rarely ever gone to Nigeria. So I actually don't really have that much history with it. But Nigeria is like, one of the wealthiest countries in Africa, but it's also the lowest education rate in all of Africa. Extreme corruption, extreme poverty, you're either extremely have it all or you are on the streets. And I believe after that 10, 15 years, I want to take the things that I've learned out in the world and the people that I've met as being one of the first generations out, and I want to impact a change there. Now, I'm not talking about, I don't need to be a president. I just want to impact change. That could be through social media. Maybe social media is enough to impact some change. I want to move generations in places. Ireland, that's my first place. That's where I am. It's where it gave me everything. This is where then later age, I believe, probably like 35 onwards, I want to inspire the change there too. So it's obviously lofty, but I believe as I've been getting more and more, I feel and I see and I just know.
Yeah. You just know. It's
yeah.
It's within you.
Yeah, 100%. So it's becoming more and more of a, like, not a question and a discovery, but like of a magnetic pull. It's sometimes quite like heavy. It's very I'm very passionate. Very passionate.
It just lights you up as well, doesn't it?
Very. Yeah.
Josh, man, you're an incredible guy. What I'd love to finish with is just a small prayer.
Yeah.
You fancy it, yeah?
Let's do it.
Just because we touched on God so much and prayer has became so current in my own life. But obviously, just want to first off thank you for being here today, man. It's been an absolute joy.
Thank you very much for like being the person that put me on. I have my first podcast.
Come on!
Being there. And thank you very much for inviting me on. Yeah, I'm very, very humble. When you sent me the message, like, I was like, damn, what the this guy was here from me. Like, bro, come on, why? No, I was looking forward to this. And I'm very, so excited, grateful. And this became, so many words, but like, we'll speak a lot more.
We will indeed, man, we will indeed. Anyway, I'll finish with this. So, Father, I thank you for this time we've shared today. For everyone listening, I pray you remind them that they were created with purpose, with strength, and with love. Lord, let them walk in courage, in faith, and in calling you placed on their life. Help us to be people who lead with integrity, who serve with humility, and who stand firm in faith. And God, let everything we've spoken today take root in the hearts of those who hear it, so that we don't just talk about change, but live it out. We give you the glory, the honor, and the praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 That was powerful, bro.
Josh, thank you so much, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All the best, everyone. Boom!